Hello, welcome back to the Rabbit Hole. We are your hosts. I'm Carrot.
And I'm Chloe.
And today we're going to delve into some conspiracy theories. Ooh, you excited? I'm excited.
Very excited. From what I've heard of your one.
It's
Intriguing.
so believable as well. Like, if there was anything I believed, it's this conspiracy theory.
I'm intrigued.
You ready?
Hit me.
Birds aren't real. They're just not real. They're just not. They don't exist.
Just birds in general? Or?
They used to exist, and then they were wiped out and replaced with drones.
All birds or just
All birds, parrots, owls. I can't remember any other
What
types
about
of birds.
ostriches and
No,
penguins?
drones, all of them.
Penguins?
Penguins. You go to the zoo, you see penguins. They're not real. They're not real.
Flamingos?
No.
Oh.
Chloe, every bird.
Every bird.
Every bird that you can
tell me
name.
why they're not real.
Why? So, there is this group called Birds Aren't Real. That's just
That's the
that's
whole
just
group.
the name.
Okay.
That's just the name. And it is a meta conspiracy movement that claims these flying creatures we see every day aren't actually birds and are instead surveillance devices planted by the government
So CCTV.
to watch us and listen to our every move. So, you know, when you're walking down the street and there's just a bird, you know, sat on the wall, careful what you're talking about because, you know, they could be putting that back, playing it back for all the government. Not that you'd be talking about anything, like, suspicious, but, you know. But, yeah, well, it started off with the leader of the idea. It claims the movement has been going on since the 1970s, so, like, for a good long while.
So as long as we've been alive, birds haven't been real?
No. They used to exist. They were wiped out by the government. All the birds in the whole planet wiped out.
Every single one?
Yeah, no, just listen.
Okay.
So 1970s and alleges the US government has been engaging in a multi-administrational and generational campaign to rid the country of all birds. Followers suggested that between 1959 to 2001, the government genocided roughly 12 billion birds with a secret virus, and the creatures have been carefully replaced with covert spy technology.
Wow.
Wiped out.
Was there a reason that they did this? Or?
Yeah,
Okay.
there is a reason. The initial aim was to stop all the bird poo from being dropped every year, and then the CIA realised they could use this to their advantage. And so the leader, I'm not sure how to pronounce his second name, I'm going to try. Peter McIndoe, I think. He said, "I think the evidence is all around us. Birds sit on power lines. We believe they're charging on power lines. We
No.
believe that bird poop on cars is like liquid tracking apparatus." So, you know,
Okay.
charge, that makes sense. The robots need charge. But yeah. So the theory basically is birds used to poop on like government cars and they weren't happy about it, so they thought, no.
Let's just wipe them
Let's
all out.
wipe them out. That's the only solution. And then they realised with these robots that they'd created that they can use them as spies.
So, like, kind of
Yeah.
two birds with one stone there.
exactly. But have you seen, right, I've seen pictures of like, I can't think who it is. I think it was JFK, where he's saluting a pigeon. Have you seen that?
That's Putin.
Oh, let's cut that out then. I did not realise that's who it was. But the people behind the Birds Aren't Real theory want to raise awareness for their cause and have embarked on a US tour to get the word out. So they're going on tour.
So people genuinely are.
Yeah, going on tour just to, you know, get out to the world. The birds don't exist. Why would they exist? Why do we have birds?
I feel like I've seen my fair share of bird poo, so I don't think they've done a very
No,
good job.
but no, if we go back, it's not bird poo, is it? It's liquid tracking apparatus.
But like it's on the pavement and stuff, so what are
I
they?
don't know. Ask government. I don't know. The first tour started in Springfield, and there were loads of people who turned up just to show how much they believed that the birds are really listening to us. Have you ever had any weird experiences with birds?
No.
I think you were there actually, I saw one eat a full chicken nugget, like a
Oh,
seagull.
yeah, I was there when that happened.
Yeah, it
but
full on came over, just, and the chicken nugget was gone. You not, like, remember?
I remember.
That's
it
kind of
happened.
cannibalism.
A little bit.
Chicken nuggets. So chickens as well, technically. What does
But
that
then
mean
we eat
about...
them.
Do we eat robots?
I think you just debunked
I
your
think
own
I
theory.
debunked it. I think I've just solved the case.
Or maybe it is just certain birds.
But when you think about it, have you heard about that case of dolphins? Where they make robot dolphins?
I can get behind.
Yeah, I've got some information on that actually. So when
Oh.
you think of it in that way, instead of like just because they poop on cars, they have actually made dolphin robots in aquariums. I've got the information right
I
here
can
for
get
you.
behind that. I like that.
Yeah, they can
Cruelty-free.
respond to questions, swim happily in shopping mall display tanks, and withstand close contact that would usually be harmful to real animals. So without any ethical problems, and they could soon be coming to aquariums in China, which is a good idea because when
I
you
like
think about
that.
like SeaWorld and all stuff like that, like how it's kind of cruel on the animal, making robots like this, I guess that's a better scenario.
Yeah, better.
Going back to the birds though, how do you feel about that?
I don't think that's
Do you believe
real.
it? Do you think it's real? Funny thing is, the people who actually created the movement came out and said it was false.
Oh, really?
They made it up. But do you want to see why they made it up?
Go for it.
So, before I say that, I do want to say like one funny thing.
Oh, go on.
So in Pittsburgh, Memphis and Los Angeles, massive billboards popped up declaring that birds aren't real. On Instagram and TikTok, Birds Aren't Real accounts racked up hundreds of thousands of followers, and YouTube videos about it have gone viral. So the Birds Aren't Real, like the people even protested outside Twitter's headquarters to get them to change the Twitter logo because it's off a bird.
Oh my
I
god.
don't know why they'd get it to change. If anything, doesn't that help? Because like a bird.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Wow.
getting back onto it, it's actually a hoax, and the people who made it knew what they were doing with it. It's like a Gen Z thing,
But
apparently.
people must have believed it.
No, yeah, people will believe
Believe,
anything. I think
yeah.
that was the point. That's why they did it. So it says here, at the centre of the movement is Peter McIndoe, who I mentioned before. He's 23, and he is a college dropout in Memphis who created Birds Aren't Real on a whim in 2017. For years, he stayed in character as the conspiracy theory's chief believer, commanding... What's that word, Chloe? Help me out.
Commandated.
Know that word.
Child. Oh,
You don't know it either.
no, I don't.
Commanding people to rage against those who challenge his dogma. But now, Mr. McIndoe said in an interview he is ready to reveal the parody lest people think birds are actually drones. Dealing in the world of misinformation for the past few years, we've been really conscious of the line we walk, he said. The idea is meant to be so... Chloe. Preposterous. Thank you. But-
Dyslexic.
Yeah, soz. But we make sure nothing we're saying is too realistic. There's a consideration without coming out of chance. So he made it up. There is a reason, as I've said. Loads, like mostly members of Gen Z, the movement has become a way to collectively grapple with these experiences, cosplaying conspiracy theorists. They found community, friendship.
Cosplaying conspiracy
That's what it
theorists.
says. That's what's wrote down. It basically became an experiment in misinformation. We were able to construct an entirely fictional world that was reported on as fact by local media and questioned by a lot of members of the public. They used it to like make money and stuff. Like it basically became like a whole job for them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like I looked into it. It was actually like quite interesting. But it's a plot twist because you read into it thinking these people really do think birds don't exist. But it's kind of
Just
smart.
Goes to show.
It's-
Goes to show.
Yeah, goes to show. It is quite smart though.
Power move.
Yeah, because people would believe it.
I think you would have been one of those people.
Probably. A bird did like get into my room once while I was in like school, and I was terrified of like birds for 6 months.
Because the government really want to know what Teenage Karis was up to.
But like no, because I was asleep and I just woke up. I just heard this like like a noise and looked up, and there was just a bird on the top of my wardrobe. I was just like,
Pigeon or...
pigeon, worst kind. Well, you know what? You never see a baby pigeon though, so maybe they are
I've seen baby
drones.
pigeons.
Had to ruin it. Okay. Well, that was my conspiracy theory. So, what did you think of that?
I enjoyed it. It was very
Yeah.
fun.
It was debunked, but I bet there are a load of people out there who do believe in it. I guess.
I can guarantee there's still people out there that are like, it's not, it wasn't a hoax. They,
Wasn't a hoax.
they are drones.
Yeah. Hello, hope you're enjoying this episode so far. We're going to cut over to Jackson with a little bit on Birds Aren't Real. Hope you enjoy this little video.
You ever hear about the craziest conspiracy theories out there? Who shot JFK? Why does the Mandela effect exist? How did Tommy Wiseau acquire the money to make the disaster film The Room?
You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
My favourite conspiracy comes from the bad-brained losers that think the creatures aren't real. I'm a mind reader and I know what you're thinking, and yes, beds are real. But do you ever go down the Alice-shaped rabbit hole and wonder, whatever happened to the education system, man? To find out why many people experience a midlife crisis, enter bedsaren'treal.com. Alright class, here's a history lesson. The US government genocided over 12 billion beds from 1959 to 2001. You're still with me on this one, right? Well, if you've ever been wondering why beds still love to take a dump on cars, please note that these experts also consider that the government replaced the beds with surveillance drones. We can infer that they mean robots, which is honestly pretty sick. In a few years' time, we could be seeing a real-life Terminator situation, but they're all beds! Someone should call Schwarzenegger. Their so-called movement, however, was to make people aware of this fact. This resulted in many people placing these beds aren't real signs all over the place. This does prove that people will believe anything they see on the internet to the point that the thought, wait, wouldn't these robotic beds malfunction if they touch rain, wouldn't come to mind.
Give us your story.
Yeah, so my conspiracy theory is the theory that Paul McCartney is actually dead.
We
Yeah.
are basically based in Liverpool as well, so
Yeah, so-
quite close to
yeah.
home.
Yeah,
Go
so
on then, give me it.
the theory is that he secretly died in the year 1966, and that the Beatles covered up his death and hired someone who looked like him and could sing like him and had the same personality as him.
I've heard this a lot, like with Avril Lavigne. Like,
Yeah, it's
there's
kind
a
of like
lot.
that. Yeah, and
Yeah.
there was two people that are believed to be him.
Yeah.
One of them is a guy called William Campbell, which was the winner of a Paul McCartney lookalike contest.
Oh.
And the other one was heard in the album St. Pepper's album as someone called Billy Shears. They sang a song, and
Yeah.
the quote of the song is they formed a band with someone called Billy Shears. So people think that one of those two.
Oh, okay.
And apparently the conspiracy theory is that the guilt got to them and they hid in songs and albums little hints that he was actually dead. So in the entire of St. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club album, there was contained John Lennon's A Day in a Life, which had the lyrics "He blew his mind out of a car" and the phrase "Paul is dead, miss him, miss him." Which
That's
can only be
pretty
heard
spot on.
when the song's played backwards.
What?
Yeah, some people say that they hear "Will Paul be here as Superman" rather than "miss him, miss him." Stuttering. John Lennon also mumbled "I buried Paul" at the end of Strawberry Fields Forever. But in interviews, Lennon said that the phrase is actually cranberry sauce and denies the existence of any backward messengers. People that believe this theory think that the Beatles accompanied these backward tape loops with references to death with album covers that illustrated the loss of their friend.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the original cover of the 1966 Yesterday and Today album featured the Beatles posed amongst raw meat and dismembered doll parts, symbolising McCartney's gruesome accident.
That's quite. Yeah.
There's also hidden clues, such as in the song Taxman, George Harrison gave his advice for those who die. So there's another hint in his song that they think is backing up that theory.
Yeah.
By late 1969, this conspiracy was so well known and talked about that McCartney came out of seclusion at his Scottish farm to deny the story. When McCartney
You
was
would, though. You'd have to deny it.
when McCartney was asked to comment by a reporter visiting the farm, he replied, "Do I look dead? I'm clearly as fit as a fiddle."
Yeah.
John completely denied that he put backwards messages in the songs, but as mentioned, the band was aware of these theories. They knew about it. They knew it was a thing.
See, I thought this was going to be more of like, like a Mandela effect where people thought he died, but then he actually didn't.
I think people think he was replaced.
Oh, okay. See, I haven't actually heard of that one before.
Yeah, apparently he died in a car accident. Yeah.
I don't think I believe it.
No.
I think Paul McCartney is Paul McCartney.
I still think he's alive and kicking it.
But
But yeah, the band,
a lot of people don't agree, clearly.
Yeah, the band knew about it. And they say that John Lennon, who had an incredible sense of humour, could have just been trolling us this entire time.
That makes sense. Could have been just one big,
But loads of people believe.
banter. Those people believe that.
Yeah, there was
it really
even
happened.
a Hoax magazine cover that.
Oh,
said that he was dead
really?
and stuff.
Imagine like being Paul McCartney though and seeing that, like people thinking you're dead. Like you can't even deny it because they just won't believe you.
Apparently, it started with a university newspaper,
Oh. Just like
and it snowballed into people thinking that he was actually dead and delving into his songs,
yeah, like
try and
playing them
find
backwards.
little messages. To
I
see.
want to hear that. The like we'll have to have a look at that later. The playing backwards of the songs.
Yeah, and the whole like we
Secret
buried our
messages.
friend and stuff.
Yeah.
There was also one that I saw that said that the album cover, you know, where they're all crossing the road,
Yeah.
Paul McCartney's the only one not wearing shoes, and apparently that's because he
Whoa.
didn't need them in the afterlife, so they just didn't put him wearing shoes.
That one.
Yeah, I personally
Not so
don't
sure.
believe it. I love Paul McCartney.
Yeah, from Liverpool. Everyone does. But like he's done so much stuff since the Beatles as
A
well.
fun little fact as well about Paul McCartney is
Yeah.
that The Simpsons, the creators of The Simpsons, reached out to him and wanted him to be in an episode, and he only agreed to do it if they made Lisa a vegetarian.
Oh really? So that's why Lisa's a vegetarian.
Yeah.
That's quite cool. Because his wife's got that vegetarian line.
She makes
Linda
great,
McCartney.
great vegetarian food.
Yeah. Chloe used to be a vegetarian herself.
Used to be. Might still be soon, maybe.
Lasted about.
But yeah.
No, you lasted about a year. To be fair.
Okay.
Sus. Sorry.
But yeah.
That's
let
been
us
our
know.
episode for today. Sorry, what was you going to say?
Just say let us know if you
Just
believe
let us
any
know.
of the theories.
Oh
that we
yeah,
talked
sorry, you're right. What do you think? Do you believe any of the theories we've talked about today, or do you think they might just be a little bit too out there?
about. Do you think that the birds were really killed off by drones? Maybe he was lying about it being a hoax, and the government was just like, be quiet about it.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe the government weren't liking that he was, throwing all them
Exposing
facts
them.
out. Yeah,
And do you think Paul McCartney is dead, or do you think he's still alive? I think he's still alive.
I think he's still alive. But let us know, and we'll see you next time into the rabbit hole.